Hello everyone. This was a good week of chapters, with One Piece and Mashle being particular standouts. Also spoiler warnings for the chapters I'll be talking about. So we're starting with One Piece chapter 1010. This was a great chapter, with the fighting on the roof reaching even higher levels, with Luffy now being able to use his Conqueror's Haki as a weapon, and the continued teasing of Zoro having Conquerors. I don't think he has it, but I believe he'll get it. What I think Kaido felt was Oden's Conquerors from his sword. Zoro seems to be able to draw out the power of the sword, and it really showed as he was able to cut Kaido deep. But he seems to be done for quite a while now. Also, it seems that Kid and Killer are going to be versing Big Mom, as she was saved by Prometheus and Napoleon. As Big Mom was saved by Prometheus, he asks her for a favor. We then see the clouds start swirling and darkening. What that means? I'm not sure, though they were bad-mouthing Zeus quite a bit, so maybe she's making a new Zeus. Law also showed some impressive ability by striking Kaido in the throat, as well as taking 2 hits from him and being okay. Speaking of Kaido's offense, he continued to show his speed by hitting both Zoro and Law with Thunder Baguya. So he continued to look strong until Luffy decided to beat him down. Overall, I'd give that chapter an A. It was great seeing the battle start to turn in Luffy and Ko's favor, and Luffy turning into a monster. I'm assuming that in the next chapter, we'll move away from the roof again, to find that the other battles have turned sour and find that everyone is in a tough spot. So now we're on to Black Clover, chapter 289. This was a good chapter, as we see that Nama may have died. Whatever may have happened to him, Lilith decided to fuse with him to make a super devil. Noct can feel their strength, but Asta can't. He even tells them that much. They then used their magic to create a super death ball that would kill everyone. They taunt Asta, saying he can't save everyone. He would be able to save himself, but not everyone else. They send the attack, but Asta's unfazed and bats it back at them, even kind of mocking them, saying that all they did was make a big spell. We then see that Magna and Zoro have arrived on the battlefield. If I'm not mistaken, this is the first time we've seen them since the 6th month training. Whether I'm right or wrong, it's cool to see them, and it may lead to the other Black Bulls arriving soon too. Overall, I'd give that chapter a B. It was good seeing the consequences of quote-unquote killing Nama, which seems to have made things harder for them, but we'll see. Especially as I don't think Asta has much time left in his Union form. Now we're on to Mashle, Magic and Muscles, chapter 58. This was a good chapter, as it was the start of the match between Mash and Margarette. Did it go as expected? No, it was funnier. With Margarette matching Mash in terms of both power and comedy, like them starting off by eating a snack, but Margarette's was weirder, as he was just dunking shrimp into tartar sauce, wanting just to taste the tartar sauce. It was very silly. Mash and Dot both realize that he's tough because of his weird view on food and his sort of madness altogether. Margarette also showed how strong his magic is by countering Mash twice. Once by overpowering him with a simple spell, the second by taking no damage from Mash's attack, meaning he countered Mash's physical attack with a spell to cushion the blow. They then continue till Margarette notices Mash defending something on himself, which he allows Mash to drop off before they continue, showing his chivalrous side. That surprised Mash as they were about to begin the next round, quote-unquote. The final thing of the chapter was the big bad supervillain of the story is seemingly making their way to the school, which is a lot sooner than I thought it'd be. So I wonder how that will unfold. I'm not trying to assume what happens because this is Mash, so anything can happen. Overall, I'd give that chapter a B. It was very funny seeing Margarette and Mash play off each other. I wonder if after the match the two will become some sort of friend/rivals, and I wonder how this attack from the main villain will end. Now we're on to Undead Unluck, chapter 59. It's a good chapter as we see more of Shen's backstory, as well as seeing that the undermember is someone Shen knows. It also seems that we're in for more Shen backstory, as it's probably going to become a tragic one by the end of it, because we find out that the undermember is actually Shen's former teacher, and from what is implied in this chapter, he made Shen fight his sister to the death. It seems that both Shen and his sister have some sort of power that Fang wants, and because Shen taught his sister a move so she can defend herself, her power revealed itself. So we'll find out what really happened in the next few weeks. Yeah, overall, I'd give that chapter a B. It was good. Getting the reveal of Fang was both expected and unexpected, as I thought it would be someone similar to Shen, but I didn't even think it could be his master. Also, the reason Shen didn't recognize Fang at first is because Fang was somehow able to make himself younger. Hopefully we'll find out how he did that too. Now we're on to Sakamoto Days, chapter 19. It was a good chapter with some development for Shin, as it seems the agency that made him a telepath is trying to get him back, but they end up kidnapping Lo instead. Because Shin and Lo are in charge of the shop as Sakamoto is at a parent school day thing, Shin and Lo argue as normal, but it ends up going a bit too far. Shen leaves the shop and Lo alone. Lo was wearing his apron, then the agency members walked into the shop and mistook her for him. They end up bad-mouthing Shen, which makes Lo both sad and angry, so she attacks them before they ask what her name is. She tells them and they realize they have the wrong person. We then see that Shin returns and sees she's gone. Sakamoto also returned and he learned what happened. He then suggests getting her back, which they did as they caught up to them very quickly. So next week should be fun. Overall, I'd give that chapter a B. It was good seeing some development for all the main characters as well as them growing closer together. So now we're on to I Tell C, chapter 11. It was a good chapter with the story seemingly finding its footing. It showed how the other police units didn't like the main group's unit, so they're fairly isolated. It also tried to explain how Rita's love works, saying that it's more about how the other person receives her love and what they do with it than her herself. We'll see how that works as it's fleshed out over time. It also seems as though the entirety of the story is told from the head of their division in the future's point of view as he's writing it down. The boss ends the chapter saying that the prologue has ended and now we're on to chapter 1. So hopefully that means a new case and villain for them to battle. Overall, I'd give that chapter a B. It was good and it seems we're entering a new phase of the manga. So that's all the chapters. They were all good. Mashle was extremely funny and One Piece was really badass. All the arcs are moving forward at a good pace and some are starting new ones. So there's a lot to look forward to in the weeks to come. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like, and as always, thank you for watching.